Hello, welcome to this video where I'm going to show you round 2 of my Master League Specialist role in the Arena Legendaria for Aztec Black. Let's take a look at the teams and my opponent here. So looking at the teams here first, my opponent didn't change a lot from his team from last week, and you can actually look it up on this Arena Legendaria website, and he only changed Yveltal to Metagross, and it makes sense. Metagross is such a good anti-hard meta pick, like has good play against Mega Rayquaza, Mega Tyranitar, and other Mega Pokemon. But I went with Genesect, and I realized Genesect is one of the Pokemon that does very well into that Venusaur, Mewtwo, Landorus triangle. That's so solid. But Genesect kind of breaks that. It can beat all three, beats Venusaur very hard. Mewtwo is a really good matchup, and Landorus can win, but with Ice Technoblast, it's very positive for me. Let's take a look at the movesets that I have. So, most movesets here are pretty standard. Aggron, Dragon Tail, Heavy Slam, Meteor Beam. Heavy Slam is just cheapest charge stack, so that's just kind of what I want to go with. I have Thunder on Kyogre to win the 0 and the 1 shields against Gyarados. I don't really see need for other charge stacks, although Origin Pulse can be really good. Buzzwole, standard moveset, but unlikely to use this. Genesect, the key component here in this team. Fury Cutter, X Scissor, Technoblast hits about anything on my opponent's team. And then Gyarados with Dragon Breath, Aqua Tail, and Crunch. Its worst matchup is the Venusaur, which isn't that great of a matchup, and Shadow Mewtwo in the 2 shields. Togekiss, I'm probably not using this in case he does bring out that Metagross. It's just terrible there, and also against Venusaur, it's not good. So Aggron, Kyogre, Genesect are my key components, and Gyarados my safe but weaker Pokemon to fall back on. Important to note is that I also have the best buddy on Gyarados because it hits a breakpoint against Shadow Mewtwo, and that allows me to win the 1 shields. One thing that I'm always keeping in the back of my head here is, even though I have so many Pokemon that look good, like Aggron, Kyogre, and Genesect, it's Gyarados that's the safest for me to use. So if I don't really know what to use, I'll likely always bring out the Gyarados, because I think it could be a nasty surprise for like his Landorus. It's okay against Shadow Mewtwo and decent into both Metagross and Lugia. Let's take a look at game number 1. I lead my Gyarados into his Landorus. Perfect, because I have Kyogre in the back as well, so I can easily dictate this matchup. He doesn't really have anything to core break my backline as well besides his own Gyarados, and it could be his own Gyarados in the back. So that's what I'm a little bit wary of at this point. I get to my Aqua Tail right before his Stone Edge, which is perfect because now I can dictate the shield scenario. I'm kind of reluctant to shield here, but like I have a full Gyarados if I successfully shield a Stone Edge, so why shouldn't I? In comes the regular Venusaur, and this I just flinched so hard here that I don't know what to do, and then I realized, wait, I have the Genesect. I just walled this extremely hard. Genesect double resist everything this Venusaur has. Whether it was regular or Mega, didn't really matter. If it was Mega, I probably would not have flinched. I just brought in the Genesect immediately. So yeah, just gonna go for the X Scissor here. This will almost knock out that. It might even knock out the Venusaur. It's a pretty strong attack nowadays. It does knock out. And yeah, he does have the Landorus, which is dry on energy. It's an X Scissor range. The Fury Cutters don't do as much. He seems to lack that, but then catches up entirely. This is probably the worst play I could have made, because now I get Charge Attack Purity Tie on the Sandsear Stone, which doesn't knock out yet. It's kind of annoying. If it's Gyarados now, I can actually still lose this, but it's unlikely. I'll likely get a shield back with my Technoblast, and then can go for Double Thunder. It's Mewtwo in the back, though. This should be okay. I still have some energy on the Gyarados. I probably can still get to an attack on my Genesect here. And Genesect is just so good into Mewtwo. This is exactly what I mean. Genesect can really throw people off if they're just not prepared for it at all. And now shields are down. And it's looking like he has the best buddy on his Mewtwo, which actually is annoying for me, because that might negate my breakpoint with the Gyarados best buddy. So unfortunate, but doesn't matter in this matchup. Gonna go for the Surf here, and I should knock out the Shadow Mewtwo and make the game 1-0. Yeah, he definitely had to Mega his Venusaur afterwards. Makes sense. I don't think it made any difference in this matchup regardless. Game number 2, I'm gonna use a line that I've had in mind the whole time. It's basically Water Double Steal, a very basic line. If I catch a bad lead, so there's a Venusaur, I just say switch Genesect, which is so good into his team with energy advantage. This is a tricky one though. This is only a Side Strike. He threw it immediately, so I know it's not a Thunderbolt, but that already does so much. Making sure he doesn't catch, being pretty patient with my Surf there. I'm not sure if I want to use shields here as the Kyogre. In fact, I'm gonna go in Genesect immediately. This is only a Side Strike as well, but look at this. I kind of underestimated this. This is freaking half damage. In comes Landorus. Now, this is also annoying, because if he shields this, he can actually get to Sandsear Storm before my next Technoblast, and then I'd have to double shield to get that off. And the thing is, if I let it go, it will also outpace my Kyogre, which I then have to shield. So, I just need to get rid of this Landorus here. Maybe the better play was to shield the Kyogre instead of using 2 shields here. But I guess we're here now anyway. I just need to get rid of these landers right here, right now. I'm gonna farm up as much energy as I can because the modules don't add up as much. So if like a Gyarados comes back in, I might be able to get to another Technoblast. If Mewtwo comes in, I probably get to an Exeter. I might already be there or be like one off. I was one off. Getting to the Exeter, this will knock out the Mewtwo. It's now Aggron, and it should beat about anything on the team that's not Metagross. In fact, it's the Mega Venusaur, and Mega Aggron just walls this. The only way he could have made perhaps won was with a Metagross, and if I was slow on my switch to the Kyogre, in which he would have to throw a charge attack probably. Gonna go for a Meteor Beam. This is not the same type of attack bonus because Mega Aggron loses its Rock subtyping, which actually only gives it less weaknesses, so that's only good, right? Otherwise, Frenzy Blend was neutral. Now it's not. Not gonna do as much, and I will win this battle by 2-0. Again, my opponent went quite weak to Genesect there, right? Because he led Mewtwo with Venusaur in the back. That's super risky into my Genesect. I expect him to go a little bit stronger. I don't even expect the Venusaur. Well, I'm wrong. There it is. But we have a plan. I'm running the same team as game 2. Gonna go into the Genesect safe switch, and he's running ABA to Aggron this time. Very annoying because Aggron is super good into Dragon Breath Gyarados. But look at this. Even despite not having the Electric Technoblast here, this already does so much that at this point I can just go straight Exeter and flip this. I actually miscount here. I thought it was an Okuto. It's a Crunch though, which I actually would have loved to have shielded. So yeah, maybe not, because if it debuffed, then his next Crunch might knock out. Gonna go for the X's here. Gonna definitely want to flip this because there's nothing else that he has on his team that can hard beat the Kyogre. These are already two of his best Kyogre answers. And if it's like Landorus, Mewtwo, Lugia, Metagross, those are all fine for Kyogre. So I want to flip Switch Advantage and have my Aggron on that Venusaur. That's also an extremely positive matchup. If it is Landorus in the back, I cannot afford to not have Switch Advantage. In the back is Landorus. It's going to go for a big farm down. I get to the Technoblast though, which has to be respected. This will do 150% damage. So you can imagine even after 2 debuffs, this will still knock out the Landorus. Yeah, now I can allow my Kyogre here. This is very much game over, kinda. He can go to as many Sensor Storm as he wants, even if he throws another one. It doesn't threaten Kyogre just yet. In comes Venusaur back in. I think he already was at the Frenzy Plant, and if he actually threw the Frenzy Plant before I could swap out, I would have let it go, farm this all the way down, or get a lot of energy with the Mega Aggron, and Meteor Beam would do so much damage into that Landorus that it would probably do like, I didn't look this up, but probably like 60 to 70%. I believe he either lags here or stopped tapping, maybe realizing the gravity of this battle. Gonna go for the Meteor Beam. It doesn't really matter though. Meteor Beam's gonna knock out. Then I can get to a boosted Heavy Slam or Meteor Beam. This will actually gonna let this go and just clean up with the Kyogre. That also works, I guess. Because I still have Kyogre. He didn't throw Frenzy Plant, and the Surf will knock out this Landorus. That makes it a pretty clean 3-0. I don't think there was a lot my opponent could have done because I had such a positive matchup here. So I got 2 3-0s in a row now, but I believe this is a knockout phase that we're in, and we're getting further, so our opponents are gonna get more difficult as well. And yeah, next week is gonna be exciting too. Hope you liked the video, and see you in the next one. Bye.